Alchemist. This series has been passed down the Armstrong family for generations. Hello everyone, Armageddon Ninja here, and now it's time to review Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist came out in 2003 and was based off of a manga. It had a reboot series called Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, who people have said to be more superior than the original. But we're not reviewing that, we're reviewing the original one. So let's find out if it's actually good or not. Let's see, how do I describe the setting of Fullmetal Alchemist? How about this? Let's say the time period is in the mid-20s, and instead of technology, there's alchemy, which is the power to reconstruct elements, but it has to be of equal value of what it was before. The story of Fullmetal Alchemist focuses around these two brothers, Ed and Al Elfric. They are on a journey to find a stone called the Philosopher's Stone, which grants great alchemy powers. When they find the stone, they will use the stone to give Al back his body, and Ed back his arm and leg. So as they're finding the Philosopher's Stone and discovering what it is, they go into different journeys, find different people, join the military, and discover dark secrets. The premise seems quite simple at first, but then it gets more complicated, things get more dark, things get much more involved with the characters. It's not just about them, it's about the people surrounding them. There are characters that you would have forgotten around the first part of the series that come up around midway or at end of the series that become a big part, and the threat that is following them is so huge that it makes the story more thrilling and makes the characters have to deal with a lot more stuff. And sometimes the villains aren't even the main villain. Sometimes something happens where you get flipped and turned upside down, and the story just gets better as time goes on. Every episode something new happens where you're more intrigued in the story and you care more about the characters, which is very crucial to a series, anything in fact, which is why this series stands out from the rest, sort of. The story at the beginning, it seems a little lighthearted a bit. It seems like there's not a lot at stake at first, and then the tone gets a little more darker, becomes more mature, stakes are set high, which is what I love to see in anything. The story needs to progress extremely well, and this was handled very well throughout the entire series. There was no point where I felt like it was really letting me down. Every time I watched an episode, I got more intrigued with the show. Now let's start talking about the characters. Edward is a smart and powerful alchemist. He's known as the Fullmetal Alchemist due to his arm and leg. His arm and legs are what is known as automail in this story, which is basically robotic limbs. He can be very stubborn, and he can be very dangerous when you call him short.
You mean that little shorty there?
Shorty! You gonna shorty do this? What else you wanna call me, a half-pint bean sprout midget?
Al is a little different from his brother. He's actually his younger brother, and he's stuck in this armor with his soul attached to it. He's much more calm, much more trusting in other people. And although he can use alchemy, he doesn't use alchemy as well as his brother does. And you can see the relationship between the two brothers, and how they need each other for everything they go through. You can really feel their brotherly relationship in this series. Now of course there are other characters, but they're more side characters sort of, and we just need to focus on these characters more. Both of these characters grow up to be more mature, act differently than they have before. In the show, Ed is 16 I think, and Al is 14. So as they're going through these adventures, you see them have to go through all these things and grow up a bit and become more mature and act fast in certain situations. And I gotta tell you, these two are one of the best characters I have seen in anime so far. They can be serious, they can be comedic, they can be anything. They tug at your emotions sometimes when certain events happen that make you care about these characters a lot. Now let's talk a little bit about the animation. The animation is actually pretty well done. Action sequences are always very well animated, and they keep you on your toes with suspense every time you watch a scene. The fourth opening in particular has a very well animated sequence, but I don't think I'll show you the fourth opening because that's a lot later in the series where you shouldn't even be able to know what's happening at all. What can I say about the music? I don't know. It never really stuck to me a lot. There were some songs that I could recognize and songs that really played well into the scenes, but I don't think I'd ever buy the soundtrack at all or download any of the songs that are on the series. In conclusion, we have an absolutely spectacular story that is told, characters that you really care about and that are very likable, Animation that is very well done, especially for early 2000s, and music that doesn't really stick to you, but it really sets the mood. Alright, so how about we rate the show? Let's see here. How about we rate it, I'm gonna give it, yeah, let's leave it at that. I absolutely loved the show. At first I thought it was pretty good, but then it got so much better to the point where I think it has become part of my top 10 list. Granted, I haven't seen a lot of anime, and it could be taken over by something else, even its new reboot series. But for now, I found this anime series very enjoyable. I definitely recommend it. Anybody can watch it, even if you're not an anime watcher. You can go ahead and watch it. It's absolutely wonderful. And if it is what people say, that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is actually better than this series, then I just applaud it right now, because if that's true, good for them, because I can't wait to watch that series. Thank you all for watching. Like if you liked the video, subscribe if you want more. Follow me on Twitter, link is in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and now I leave you with the outro.